Most people grind monuments for hours to get rich, but that comes with risk, and who wants to deal with that? So today I'm going to be showing you how to make up to 10,000 scrap per hour from the comfort of your own base with just right click. To do that, we're going to be exploiting one of the most broken mechanics in Rust. That's right, we're talking about fishing. Now, a lot of you might know just how valuable fishing can be. In the past, I've shown you that you can make up to 1,500 scrap per hour. Now, obviously, that is quite a big difference from the 10k scrap an hour I'm claiming today, and that's because a lot has changed for us to take advantage of. What I'm about to show you today is not only a foolproof fishing method, it can be done almost AFK. All you're gonna need to do is right click. But let's talk about the scrap. Obviously, 10k scrap is just about best case scenario. And during an average wipe, dynamic pricing might be working against you as other people sell fish. And in a worst case scenario where the market is tapped out, you're gonna be brought down to about 700 scrap every 20 minutes. But that's worst case scenario. If the markets aren't working against you, or if the server doesn't use dynamic pricing, you could easily be looking at as much as 4,200 scrap an hour. Now, this is a major change from previous numbers, and the reason for that isn't just dynamic pricing. It's how we fish. Thanks to a recent jungle update, we now have access to jungle rivers. By taking advantage of the flow of the river and using an optimized base, we can actually catch 180 to 200 fish an hour easily. So with this in mind, I've come up with a base that allows us to fish almost AFK while never losing a single catch. And if you're looking for a little action while the fish pretty much catch themselves, why not check out today's sponsor, War Thunder, the ultimate free-to-play vehicle combat game available on PC, PlayStation, Xbox, and now mobile. War Thunder lets you take control of over 2,500 vehicles across land, air, and sea, from vintage biplanes to modern fighter jets and main battle tanks. What makes it stand out is the insane attention to detail. Vehicles aren't just health bars, and every component can be damaged, from engines to fuel tanks and even crew members. And with X-ray mode, you can see how your shells penetrate and tear through your target. Whether you want quick arcade battles, full sim realism, or something in between, there's a mode for you. Plus, there's endless customization with camouflage decals and community-made skins so that your ride can stand out in the battlefield. So hop in today using my links in the description or the pinned comment below. New and returning players on PC and console who haven't played in the last 6 months also will earn a massive bonus pack with premium vehicles, the exclusive Eagle of Valor decal, 100,000 Silver Lions, and 7 days of premium time. So don't miss out, claim your rewards, and join the fight now in War Thunder. Alright, so the build itself, this is actually incredibly important, and it's what's going to allow us to actually make the most amount of scrap per hour. So first, you want to make sure you know the direction of the river, and you want to kind of build parallel to that flow. When building, I highly recommend you start on the shoreline, because that's going to help make sure that you're just high enough that you can actually still place your TC and any other deployables. Once you get to the middle of the river here, we're going to place a triangle down here, and we can actually do 2 more on each side. And then we're just going to surround this area with squares. We can then actually break these 2 middle pieces, and we're going to place 2 more squares just at the back here. Now, this piece right here is no longer actually needed, and it can stay if you want a bridge, but your front door is actually going to be right here. So we're going to build a bridge there. Now, coming in, we're going to do doors like this with a wall, and then we're just going to surround this little spot here like so, and we're going to do the same thing over here. This is going to give us a nice spot for our TC. And then we're just going to close in like so, add on some roof pieces, close things in, and you can go ahead and upgrade from this point. Now, once you're done, you should have something looking like this. You don't actually need the bridge, but I find it a personal preference. Now, the only big issue is someone could actually eco-raid these foundations, and in order to fix that, I do actually like just adding on this extra roof layer. It can add to the expense of the build, but it makes it significantly harder for people to mess with you. Not that there's really anything for anyone to get out of this base unless you're actively fishing. Now, this base isn't designed to be the most efficient building. It is a very small building, but you definitely could make it smaller for a slower cost. But the important part is that this base is designed for fishing efficiency. Once you've got your storage placed, we're just gonna wanna get our chair placed. So you're gonna place your chair so that it's kind of lined up with this bottom foundation here, just a little further back. And that should give you some nice placement. You wanna try to line up that triangle between your legs, like so. And then we're gonna grab our 2 fishing rods, which is very, very important. And we're gonna grab our bait. Now you're gonna wanna use cat meat, bear meat, or crocodile meat, as these all have a bait level of 10. And this is gonna help make sure that when you're catching fish, you're mostly catching higher level fish, and that's gonna save you a lot of a headache. Now when you cast your rod, you're gonna see that little blue sphere, and you wanna kinda get used to that placement. That's where you're gonna bring your mouse up to every single time you go to cast. And to do this effectively, we're gonna cast, so we're gonna right click, or left click, sorry, and then we're just kinda waiting. You can see right away that the bobber is kind of going towards us, and at this point we do want to angle our mouse down, and this is going to help make sure that the fish is going to come towards us without failing. And you can see right away that the river is bringing the fish in, and you can fish with this method, just letting the fish eventually actually come up to you, and it will catch itself. However, if you want to catch more fish per hour, you do have to interfere. I'm gonna go ahead and let this fish tire itself out, and you will see that it will actually come in entirely on its own. Now, the reason we made this pool as small as we did is it reduces the amount of space that the fish can actually go to the back. This helps make sure that your catch time is as low as possible. And again, like I said, you can lower it by actively pulling in the fish, but I do want to show that this can be done virtually AFK. I have done this myself a few times, just watching TV, casting a fish, or casting the rod, and you watch as the fish eventually does make it to this corner here, and I've caught a yellow perch. Now, like I said, we're gonna switch instantly to that second rod. That's actually gonna cancel the animation. And then for this one, we're actually gonna reel it in ourselves. Now, when you're reeling it in, you don't actually have to pay too much attention. You will eventually see that rod shake or hear it, and that's gonna give you the signal that you need to stop reeling in the fish. All you need to do is hold S as soon as you cast, and you're basically just waiting for that fish to catch. It's gonna reel in, and if it doesn't struggle, you're gonna instantly catch a fish with no issues. After a little while, it becomes basically second nature, and you can just keep casting, switching to the next rod and casting. Some fish are going to fight you a little bit more, let go of S so you don't break your rod, let it get back to normal, and you can reel it in. Now this is a foolproof method. It will never fail. It'll never cause you any issues. You can make casting a little bit more efficient if you add another triangle at the other side of this base. However, I personally don't like doing that, as it gives a bit more space for the fish to run to, and I find that ends up adding a lot more time to the fishing that I just don't want to deal with. As you can see with this method, you should never lose a fish, and in just a short time, I've caught 5 fish just like that. Now, where this method and this base design really shines is if you're coming in to prepare for next wipe. So if I'm playing and I'm trying to grind BPs on a server before the Thursday, you're gonna find almost all the fish sales are selling at 100% value, giving the maximum amount of scrap per fish, meaning you don't have to fish nearly as much. With this method, you can actually fish for about 2 hours, earn 20 to 25,000 scrap, and easily unlock all of your blueprints that you're gonna need for your next wipe. Of course, that might not be the conditions that you're all going for, so if this is a fresh wipe, you are gonna be looking at a lot more closer to that 2 to 3,000 scrap per hour mark. But for not really having to do anything, it is a very efficient method of earning scrap. Thanks again to War Thunder for sponsoring today's video. Don't forget, you can play for free right now on PC, PlayStation, Xbox, or mobile using my links in the description or pinned comment. And if you're new or coming back after more than 6 months away, you'll get a free bonus pack on PC and console that includes premium vehicles, the exclusive Eagle of Valor decal, 100,000 Silver Lions, and 7 days of premium game time. It's only available for a limited time, so make sure you claim it while you can.